Hello, I'm Mark Beachy from the Maryland Theater Guide, and today I'm broadcasting to you from the
Monster Mania convention in Haunt Valley, Maryland.
Hello, I'm here with star of stage, screen, and TV's Mr. John Kassir. Welcome.
Well, thanks.
Now, I understand that you are from Baltimore, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm from Baltimore. Grew up in the Towson area. Went to Loch Raven Senior High School, Hahn. You know, played lacrosse for them, and went to Cromwell Valley Elementary and Towson Town Junior High. Graduated from Towson University, which was Towson State at the time. Got my degree in theater there, and moved to New York to pursue my dream to be an actor, and did well there. And of course, stand-up comedy and that kind of thing launched a TV career for me, and winning Star Search in 1980. Because I originally hadn't been a stand-up comedian, I was doing an off-Broadway show with Scott Bakula called Three Guys Naked from the Waist Down.
Now, I understand you were nominated for a Drama Desk Award for that. How did that feel?
Oh, great. We were nominated for all kinds of stuff for that. It was a really unique show, and a lot of fun to do. And we played stand-up comedians, and these guys saw me on the show that were talent scouts for Star Search, and they said, "We want you to be on Star Search." And I said, "I'm not really a stand-up comedian. This is just a part I'm playing." And they go, "Well, you can win $100,000. I went, "Frig, I'm a stand-up comedian." So I went on the show, and having come from sketch comedy, in fact, I was one of the founding members of a local comedy group called Animal Crackers that were quite big in the late 70s, early 80s here in Baltimore. We used to use the Bolton Hill Dinner Theater and do our Saturday Night Live type show. We kind of became like Baltimore's version of Second City. And it was a great group of folks, and became quite popular. We used to have as our hosts, guys like Bob Turk and Marty Bass and Lopez from the radio station would be our guest hosts each week or month, and we'd write a new show every month and do a sketch comedy. So using those, my background in doing that, I went on Star Search and beat Rosie O'Donnell in the semifinals and Sinbad in the finals, and wound up winning as a stand-up comedian, and that launched my television and film career.
Now, do you have anybody locally that you would like to thank for your training? Maybe at Towson State University there was a particular teacher that taught you something.
Oh, it was a great theater department. At the time it was headed by a guy named Paul Berman, who still lives here in Maryland, and has gone on to do all kinds of wonderful things. He and his wife still live, I think, in the Rolling Park area, and his daughter Beth went to school with me, and she was is a wonderful actress, and still lives here in Maryland. And my best buddy Chris Millard, who is there, we kind of developed a style of comedy and acting together that was quite wonderful. There was John Manlove and Richard Gillespie and all these wonderful teachers there, and of course Marvine Lusky, who's now the president of the university, was one of my first instructors, professors at Towson University, and when she was the dean of the Fine Arts College here at Towson, brought me in to do a show that I was working on to try it out here at the school, and now here she is, the president of the university, which is really amazing. Thanks, Marvine. Thanks, Dick. Thanks, John. Thanks, Paul. And just got to work with some wonderful people. Charles Dutton was at Towson with me there. We did a number of productions together. As you know, Charles, also known as Rock, had his own TV show, Rock, and went on to do everything from act to produce The Corner for HBO, which was a great show that was based here in Baltimore, which was a little even more hardcore than The Wire, and very indicative of part of the dark sides of Baltimore.
Speaking of the dark side,
Yeah.
you're very well known as the voice of the Crypt Keeper in Tales from the Crypt. I believe there's an interesting story I bet you can tell about the audition process and how you got the role.
Well, you know, having done stand-up comedy, when I popped into stand-up comedy, I really didn't have any material per se, you know, to tell jokes and that kind of thing. So I started doing a bunch of different characters in my act, and the producers of Tales from the Crypt called me down to come audition for it because of my background in that. And of course, I went down and saw I used to collect the comic books as a kid, so I knew exactly what the tone of the show should be. Mm-hmm. And I went down to Kevin Yeager's studio, and Kevin, of course, who designed the Crypt Keeper, also designed Chucky and Freddy Krueger's look and all these great horror icons. So I went down to Kevin's studio, and he was auditioning people at his studio, and I came in and, you know, saw this rotting little corpse here with his holes in his throat and rotting teeth and no nose, and, you know, thought, okay, the material seemed to be kind of punchy one-liners and this great alliteration, and had to be the host of the show, so I'm thinking Alfred Hitchcock, you know, with a little bit of Margaret Hamilton thrown in there as the Wicked Witch, you know, a little bit of Henny Youngman, you know, and I came up with a Crypt Keeper. Be careful what you ask for. You may get it. So that's how I got the part. Yeah.
That's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any future projects that you would like to tell us about, in particular with theater, maybe?
Well, I just finished doing a short run in Silence the Musical, which of course is playing off Broadway in New York and now just opened in LA, and I was part of the LA company. I played Jack Crawford, which is of course a parody, a very, very funny, raunchy parody of Silence of the Lambs as a musical. It's got an excellent cast, and I enjoyed opening the show, but work has taken me away from the theater, as it always does. Theater never really pays very much, but that was a funny show. So right now I am waiting to find out on a pilot. I did Mockingbird Lane, which Brian Fuller created and Brian Singer directed. For NBC Universal. It's a re-envisionment of the Munsters. Oh, you know, okay. 1 hour, much more edgy, you know, show with Jerry O'Connell and as Herman and Portia de Rossi as Lily and Eddie Izzard as Grandpa, and Beth Grant and I play the nosy neighbors. So, you know, we'll see if that gets picked up. That would be really cool. And next spring, in March, I got the big blockbuster movie that Bryan Singer directed, Jack the Giant Killer, coming out. Cool. And it was Stanley Tucci and Ewan McGregor and Nicholas Hoult, Ian McShane, who shot that in London last year. And the main giant named Fallon is a two-headed giant played by a British actor, Bill Nighy, and myself. And so that's going to be an awesome project. I'm really excited about that.
You are one busy guy, that's for sure.
Thank God. Thank you. Thank you.
You can meet John Kassir as well as other celebrities at the Monster Mania Convention through September the 30th. For more information, visit monstermania.net.